As China's second fifth-generation fighter jet, the J-35 series will not only be commissioned into the Chinese People's Liberation Army but also become a flagship product for China to enter the international high-end fighter jet military trade market, breaking the monopoly of the US F-35 series in the fifth-generation fighter market. It can be said that its future prospects cannot be ignored. As for the first foreign user of the J-35, many people must have assumed it would undoubtedly be the Pakistani Air Force. After all, China and Pakistan have extremely close diplomatic cooperation, and over the years, Pakistan has relied heavily on various Chinese foreign trade military equipment in the military field. Even since last year, as the J-35 series fighters have continued to mature, senior officials of the Pakistani Air Force have repeatedly hinted that they are about to introduce the J-35. However, it now appears that developments may not proceed that quickly. In a recent interview broadcast by Pakistani media, Pakistani Defense Minister Khawaja Asif confirmed that Pakistan has not signed an agreement with China to import J-35 stealth fighters. This clearly contradicts the previous report by Pakistan Broadcasting Corporation that the Pakistani Air Force would purchase 40 J-35A fighters. We all know that in the recent India-Pakistan air battle, the Pakistani Air Force, which has built a Chinese foreign trade-type air combat system, used China's foreign trade fourth-and-a-half-generation fighter jet J-10CE and long-range air-to-air missile PL-15E to achieve a 6 o'clock victory over the Indian Air Force, which is several times larger in size. The results were extremely brilliant. Under such circumstances, it is logically an inevitable choice for Pakistan to speed up the introduction of China's more advanced foreign trade fifth-generation fighter jet J-35, so that the Pakistani Air Force, which is at a disadvantage in terms of equipment quantity, can establish a more solid qualitative advantage over the Indian Air Force. This is also considered by many people to be a perfectly reasonable choice. However, things are actually far from that simple. Whenever people mention the long-standing enmity between India and Pakistan in South Asia, many people's first reaction is that these two countries, which have fought many wars, have been in a regional arms race, and each wants to completely gain the upper hand over the other. However, if we observe calmly and carefully, it is not difficult to find that Pakistan has never intended to completely widen a generational gap with India in certain key combat equipment fields. An interesting phenomenon is that even though Pakistan clearly knows that the quantity of key combat equipment in its military branches is significantly inferior to India by an order of magnitude, it has never fully embraced the arms race mindset of offsetting quantitative disadvantages with qualitative advantages. Basically, the Karachi side seems to be intentionally or unintentionally maintaining a certain military balance. It is sufficient to prevent itself from becoming an opponent that India can easily defeat in a short period of time through planned self-development. Obviously, this is significantly different from a real arms race where both sides, to a large extent, spare no effort and seek to completely destroy each other. The reasons behind this are twofold. On the one hand, there is an inherent and huge gap in comprehensive national strength between Pakistan and India, which is the strongest country in the South Asian subcontinent. On the other hand, Pakistan's external environment is far less favorable than India's. The former has relatively limited access to external assistance. It can be said that under the circumstances where both hard power and soft power are far inferior to potential opponents, only a fool would take the initiative to provoke a dangerous arms race. By contrast, maintaining its military buildup at a level that does not impose an excessive burden on all aspects of the country's work and life, that prevents it from being easily defeated by potential powerful enemies, and that does not unduly provoke such enemies, this has actually been Pakistan's chosen path of survival for many years. Thus, it is not hard to understand why the current Pakistani government and military leaders are not in a hurry to import the J-35 stealth fighters. After the air battle, the Pakistani Air Force, which has commissioned the J-10CE and PL-15E, has already established a certain qualitative edge over the Indian Air Force, proving that India can hardly defeat Pakistan easily. In the coming period, the Indian side in New Delhi may seek fifth-generation fighters from other countries due to its perception of this gap, but this will undoubtedly take a considerable period of time to materialize. It will require investing a great deal of time in evaluation, placing orders, waiting for delivery, training personnel, and generating combat capabilities, among other things. Without wanting to truly start an arms race, the correct approach for Pakistan is to seek fifth-generation fighters and build up its combat capabilities only after India has taken relevant actions, thereby establishing a new strategic balance. If it were to really provoke India to the extent that India fully launches an arms race, that would be an irreparable policy mistake for Pakistan, whose strength is clearly insufficient. Therefore, the fact that Pakistan is not in a hurry to buy the J-35 now does not mean it will never buy it. It is simply waiting for the right time to establish a new balance. We only need to watch the subsequent developments.